I was wrong. Jon Jones is the heavyweight champion of the UFC, and he just submitted Ciryl Gane in under 3 minutes with a guillotine up against the fence after like 10 seconds of top pressure. Listen, guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm not happy about this. I said earlier on that even if Jon Jones were to have won, I wouldn't be that upset because he's still good for the sport. But I was picking against him, and I at least wanted to see some kind of a scrap. I wanted to see some resistance. I wanted to see at least one round and maybe some more exchanges on the feet. But none of that happened. And Jon Jones just finished Gane like it was nothing. And Gane looked absolutely pathetic. Jon Jones was able to get a takedown after Gane lunged in with a big left hand. He got the body lock, dragged him down to the ground. Gane tried to work his way up against the fence, actually stood up, but Jones took him down again, kind of mounted him against the fence, and just sunk the guillotine in and choked him out. Gane tapped out, and I literally could not believe my eyes. I was shocked, shell-shocked. And it was like the direct opposite from how I was feeling when Volkanovski had that impressive performance against Islam, but it was worse because I wanted Gane to win. And I'm looking at a photo right now of Jon Jones on the guillotine of Gane. And this sucks, man. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's all good, bro. I'm coping hard, man. I'm not happy about this. I wanted there to be an actual fight. And I was also dead wrong. But I don't really care that much about being wrong because pretty much no one could have seen this kind of an outcome. I thought that if Jones were to have won this fight, he would have done it in the later rounds. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect it to look this easy, this effortless. I didn't expect Gane to look this shit, a guy that is this talented, this athletic, who picks things up pretty easily, who's looked so amazing throughout their career, look this awful. And Jon Jones at heavyweight, he proved me wrong. He's a legit heavyweight, man. He doesn't look like it. He looked like a skinny guy who just put on a little bit too much fat. But man, was he strong. And man, was he effective. And I don't see anyone beating him at heavyweight right now. The only guy that could give him some kind of resistance is Curtis Blades, not even Stipe. And why do I say not Stipe, although Stipe has some good wrestling? It's because Stipe's old. He's been out of the game for a while. And he's not Jon Jones. Jon Jones can be out of the game for a while, obviously. And I wasn't saying that, but he proved me wrong. So, like, I'm not just going to sit here and keep the same energy. I can't stand that fucking statement. Keep the same energy, bro. I'm not going to sit here like a broken robot who's going to be like in denial about Jon Jones winning, and I'm not going to take his credit. He looked amazing. He looked strong. One thing I noticed before he shot for that takedown is he had Gane pressured up against the fence, and thank God Gane actually landed a side kick to the knee. I was praying that he was going to land some oblique kicks, and he actually did, which was really good. He looked good on the feet, but Jones is back, man. He looks so fucking thick and strong. And yeah, that strength did him wonders. Was able to take Gane down easily and manipulate him on the ground. And I didn't expect Gane to tap from that, man. And I don't think you guys did either when it was cinched in. I didn't think I would see Gane's hand go like that. And it really did piss me off because, again, man, I wanted to see some kind of a scrap. It felt so anticlimactic. Then again, if Gane were on the other side of that and he tapped Jones out, I would be fucking screaming all day, all night. It is what it is, man. Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. Whether he won or lost, he would still be the GOAT, but he definitely solidified that. And I don't think he's just going to stick around for 1 or 2 fights at heavyweight. I think he's going to look back at this and say, wow, like, I impressed myself. These heavyweights ain't shit. I'm going to go through all of them. I'll fuck Stipe up, and I'll just keep winning, and I'll go on a whole different run. And by then, his legacy will be, like, actually untouchable. And, yeah. But it almost reminds me of, like, the Conor versus Donald Cerrone. And it's way more impressive because it was in a title fight, and it's over a guy like Gane, who a lot of people were picking to win. I did a poll earlier today, and I know the numbers might look a little different right now after the fact, but before the fight actually happened, and I'm talking hours before the fight happened, it was 49% in favor of Gane, 51% in favor of Jones winning. it was basically cut through the middle. And I know a lot of my subscribers were convinced by my argument. And hell, I thought I had a pretty good argument for Gane winning this fight. And a lot of other people did too. But yeah, dude, I didn't expect that to happen. And the reason why it's similar to Conor and Cerrone is because that was a little bit anticlimactic too. I had my dad watching with me that time we were watching Conor fight Donald, and it ended so quickly. It was almost like, shit, man. Like, after a year and a half of Conor being out, this is what we get. And I almost feel like I didn't even see the return of Jon Jones. It looked so unreal. I'm still shocked, and I just wish that Gane would have got it done. His takedown defense was way worse than I expected. And yeah, he sucks ass on the ground. These heavyweights are trash on the ground. So I thought that if Jon Jones, after 3 years of being out of the game, after getting his ass kicked by Reyes, after failing to take Reyes down, and when he was able to take a guy like Reyes down, couldn't keep him down for more than 5 seconds, I thought that, dude, Gane is so much bigger and so much more athletic. He'll be able to pick up the same kind of takedown defense. But man, I was wrong. And also, Jones looked rejuvenated at heavyweight. I feel like this is a weight class where this guy, because he's so good on the ground, now that he has all this added strength, is going to be way better than I thought. And so he proved me wrong with his strength. He was a lot stronger than I thought, because you have to be like an absolute freak of nature to be able to submit Gane that easily. I think he'll run through everyone. Curtis Blades is the one guy that has a chance, but he'll destroy Stipe. Maybe Stipe will be able to stuff a takedown better than Gane, but I still am going to pick Jones. He'll run through everyone. He'll beat Sergey. So it is what it is, man. Jon Jones' return felt anticlimactic to me. I got it wrong, but he looked amazing. What can I say? He looked really fucking good. What's next for Gane? Honestly, I don't even care, man, because I don't think this guy's ever going to be a champion, because maybe Jones is going to stay around for another couple years. And after that, maybe there will be some other guy that can grapple. So is Gane overrated? Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe Jon Jones is just that fucking good. And I have to just understand that. It is what it is, man. The next fight that was really impressive to me was Shavkat Rakhmonov and Jeff Neal. It was basically Khamzat Chimaev and Gilbert Burns 2.0. He couldn't for the life of him take down Jeff Neal. And it's kind of like Khamzat not having any success on the ground with Gilbert Burns. And of course, he had to trade with him. And I knew that Jeff Neal was going to have some success, but I didn't think it was going to be this much of a scrap. I thought that Shavkat would have been able to slow it down a little bit more. But no, man, they went right to war. They were trading the whole time, and it was just chaos. Shavkat got his mouthpiece knocked out of his mouth in the first round, and Herb Dean, the fool that he is, he's actually one of the most overrated referees in the game. He's always making late stoppages and making bad picks. But anyway, making bad decisions. Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier were talking about the fight like 2 minutes after his mouthpiece had been knocked out of his mouth by Jeff Neal. And they were screaming at, Herb Dean to get the mouthpiece. And I was worried the whole time that he was going to get his teeth knocked out because he was taking big shots from Jeff Neal. And first of all, a lot of the punishment that Jeff Neal was delivering on the chin of Shavkat would probably knock down most welterweights, would probably put them in really bad situations. But Shavkat has a crazy chin, man, which is not that impressive. It is impressive. It's not surprising. I'm not surprised that a guy like Shavkat is tough as nails as well. And he got rocked in the third round again, but then was able to hurt Jeff Neal really badly a couple minutes later. Had an onslaught up against the cage, landed some really good knees to the body. That was one of the most impressive techniques that Shavkat was able to show in this fight, his knees to the body, and of course some of those sneaky head kicks. But yeah, put it on Jeff Neal and was able to get a standing rear naked choke up against the fence. I think it's only a matter of time before this guy is a champion in the welterweight division. To get past a guy like Jeff Neal is extremely impressive. It was a big step up in competition. I know that Magny, the guy that Shavkat beat before, beat Jeff Neal, but you guys kind of already understand that Jeff is a tougher fight and he's a more dangerous opponent. Magny tends to have a little bit of a weird style. He's kind of a fluky guy, if you know what I mean. I'm really impressed by Shavkat Rakhmonov. He called out Colby. I don't think Colby's going to take that fight. Colby doesn't fight anyone that's actually that dangerous with a 100% finish rate coming off of this many wins. There's no chance Colby comes back. He's retired as far as I'm concerned. Who should Shavkat fight? I think he should fight Gilbert Burns after Burns gets past Masvidal, which I assume will happen. Another really impressive fight. Alexa Grasso taking out Valentina Shevchenko. And I am not that surprised that it was a little bit close in the earlier rounds. Of course, I think that Valentina was winning the fight, but Grasso was having a lot of moments on the feet where she was outboxing Shevchenko and rocking her up a little bit on the feet with her hands. But, man, the gap has been closing between Shevchenko and the other women. Maybe it's her just getting older, but you cannot deny that it was an impressive back take from Grasso, and now Mexico has 2 champions. Amazing win. I'm honestly kind of happy because I was kind of bored of Shevchenko's title reign. I know she's had some really impressive finishes and really impressive wins, but after a while, dude, it just got kind of stale, and I was happy to see something else. I was just happy that it was over, quite frankly, but I was happy to see that happen. And it got us closer to Jones and Gane, but maybe, just maybe, it would have been better off if we were further removed from it and not closer. But it is what it is. All you Jon Jones fans are going to disagree with me there. I'm still coping big time, but it is what it is, man. Jalin Turner letting me down against Mateusz Gamrot. We can't deny that he looked good, okay? I picked him to TKO Mateusz Gamrot, and he rocked him a few times in this fight. And we could see the big difference in the striking. Mateusz Gamrot had a couple moments in the first round where he was able to land some big shots, body shots, and some good hands on the chin of Jalin Turner. But Turner was just making Gamrot look like an amateur in the second and third round. But Gamrot was able to find those takedowns, and Turner really couldn't do much, man. Gamrot was playing the hand game. He was just gripping onto him for dear life and didn't really do much damage. But he had so much control time in the third round that it was 1-1 going into the third. I had Turner in the second round, even though Gamrot took him down at the end of the second. Turner had done so much damage leading up to the last minute and a half in that second round on the feet, landing good kicks to the body, rocking Gamrot in a couple of moments, having an onslaught up against the fence as well. That minute and a half of control time that Gamrot had with minimal damage didn't really steal him the round. But Gamrot in the third round clinched onto him and just wouldn't let go. Held him down on the ground, had the control for the majority of the round, and gave Turner no chance to win that fight. Good win for Mateusz Gamrot, a really mature game plan, good fight IQ from him as well, but I am not ready to just say that Jalin Turner and his hopes of being a champion are done because, again, he looked really good on the feet, and it's not like he was just getting taken down at will. It's not like Gamrot was just mogging him on the ground. Turner was able to get up to his feet a few times, and I really don't think Gamrot has a higher ceiling than Turner. I think Turner is only 27 years old. Gamrot's 32 and in the middle of his prime. Turner can still make those improvements, and in a 5-rounder, does it look different? In a 5-rounder, maybe with a full training camp, does it look different for Turner? Now, I know some of you guys are going to say that, well, Mateusz took it on short notice. Yes, that's true. But this dude is always in the gym. He's always training. He's always staying ready. And Turner was getting ready for Dan fucking Hooker. So maybe if Turner were to have had a full training camp for a grappler like Mateusz Gamrot, he would have a better chance to knock him out. And hey, if those two fought again, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, I'd pick Mateusz Gamrot. I was really wrong. No, I'd pick Turner to knock him out again. Because what I saw was a very close fight. It was 1-1 going into the third round. Some people even had Turner winning the first round. I didn't. I had Gamrot winning the first round. And he was rocking him up, man. He was finding some moments. And those two fight again. Gamrot does not have the best ability to control guys and keep them down on the ground. He has to keep shooting takedowns. He can't really do that much with them all that often. And on the feet, he's lost against a guy like Turner. I'd pick Turner again. Who should Turner fight next? Maybe Drew Dober. That'd be a good fight. Drew Dober, Jalin Turner. I don't want to see him fight Dan Hooker. That's too easy of a fight. And who should Gamrot fight next? I don't know, man. I really don't know. I still think Gamrot is a poor man's Colby Covington. He can't for the life of him control guys on the ground like a Colby, and doesn't have the same output on the feet and doesn't just break guys. Like, I know people compare him to Colby, but I just don't see it at all. I don't know who Gamrot's going to fight next. What else was impressive? Ian Gary got rocked, got dropped against Son Kanan, but still was able to find a finish. I really liked the performance from Ian Gary. Let's be honest, he dominated Son Kanan and finished him by TKO in the third round, but he still doesn't have a lot of power. And I just don't know how well he's going to do against the better strikers in the division. And has this guy even fought a really dominant grappler yet? No. And the welterweight division is filled with great grapplers. And the guys that aren't great grapplers that are ranked are guys like Jeff Neal that could put you out with one shot. And if Song Kanan is rocking you, how does that look up against a guy like Jeff Neal? And I don't know how far Ian Gary's going to go, but he did everything that he could do. It's just he doesn't have power in his hands. And if he's a striker, you kind of need that in the welterweight division. You need that extra bit of power like a Jack Della Maddalena. We've seen guys like Kevin Holland. And Kevin Holland, I don't even think he's as good of a striker as Ian Gary, but he does have power. And I think that kind of makes them a little bit even in a way. He has never been ranked a day in his life. And so it's really hard to be ranked a welterweight if you don't have power or you don't have grappling. We haven't really seen Ian Gary grapple that much, but I was still impressed. He did what he was supposed to do, has an amazing jab, great calf kicks, great kicks to the body, really well-rounded on the feet. I think I want to see him tested against a guy that can grapple, though. So I'd like to see that. He didn't really call anyone out, though. He wants to fight on the Miami card, which is cool. I'd love to see that happen. Put him on the Miami card. And what other fights were impressive? Bo Nickal. But he also looked really green. Bo Nickal submitting Jamie Pickett in the first round, but he struggled to cinch in that arm triangle. And he had it for a couple of minutes, but just couldn't cinch it in. And DC and Rogan were saying that he was making a bunch of mistakes, and I could kind of see it too. And he was just showing that he's a little bit green in the sport, but nonetheless, a lot of us expected that to happen. And Bo Nickal proved himself, man. He proved himself, hit Jamie Pickett with a massive knee to the balls right before he shot in for the takedown, but he already had his hands on him, and it was probably only a matter of time before he would have gotten the takedown. But hey, I do have to say, Jamie Pickett was actually putting up some decent resistance before that groin strike. Bo Nickal was able to get on top of him, mount him, and get the arm triangle. Beautiful win for Bo Nickal. Who do I want to see him fight next? I mean, it's so hard to give these guys a next opponent right off the bat because, you're not going to want to look at anyone that's close to the rankings. This dude is literally, 4-0 now? So let's have Bo Nickal take it nice and easy, nice and slow, get him another guy that's far away from the rankings. And I'd like to see him turn around on that Miami card, man. Hey, you took literally no damage. Why do you want to take so much time off? Fight another guy that's around the same level. Show something a bit more impressive. Get some more experience. Get a full round in you. Maybe go a full round or just do something soon because he took no damage, right? I want to see the guy fight again. Great win from Bo Nickal. The card was fun. The card was really good. I got a bunch of my picks wrong. I got the Turner pick wrong. I got the Gane pick wrong. I got the Julian Marquez pick wrong. And I got the Shevchenko pick wrong. But every other pick was just fine, except for Cody Garbrandt. I'm forgetting that. Guys, I didn't do well on this card. Hey, it is what it is, man. Cody Garbrandt lost that third round, got rocked up a little bit in the third round, but was able to win the first two. He looked so fast, and for the first time, we saw Cody Garbrandt fighting with an IQ. For the first time since that Dominic Cruz fight, we saw him fight with a bit of an IQ. He wasn't just going out there winging punches. He really looked gun-shy as well. Cody Garbrandt looked very gun-shy, but it was the speed, it was his kicks to the body, his kicks to the legs, and the wrestling that made a difference. I said going in, I didn't really think that he was going to wrestle that much, and that was his only way to win the fight, and he proved it because that's basically all he did in the second round. And he got pieced up a bit in the third, started gassing out. And in the first round, he outstruck Trevin Jones, seemed very gun-shy, wasn't really willing to throw his hands. And that's really the moneymaker for a guy like that. And I'm not saying just go out there and throw windmill punches and just go out there with reckless abandon. But in general, I would have liked to see a little bit more output from him. But hey, he won and he proved me wrong and he had a good fight IQ. Trevin Jones also looked pretty trash. I expected him to get the KO, but I also expected a much more wild Cody, and he wrestled, which really impressed me, man. His takedowns looked amazing. He looked fit as ever. He's got to be one of the strongest bantamweights, that's for sure, one of the fastest bantamweights. Who does he fight next? I don't know. I keep saying, who do these guys fight next? Who would you give Cody Garbrandt next? What is a good opponent for him? Ronnie Yaya, the guy that he was already supposed to fight? That would be all right. I'd like to see him fight soon because, again, he didn't take that much damage. Maybe he could fight on UFC 288 in New Jersey. on the Aljo Sterling card just to shine a little bit more light on the bantamweight division. For goodness sakes, do not put him up against anyone that's ranked. I just think that he needs another tune-up fight. This was a tune-up fight for him, and I thought he was like 35 years old, but he's only 32. And I found that out a couple days ago, and I was surprised because, Cody's been knocked out so much. You would think he's like an old man that's past his prime, but he's still past his prime, but he did look good, and it's a very good thing to see. I'm very happy for Cody Garbrandt. The only fight on this card that I'm just not happy about was the Jones fight. I got the Dricus pick right. I got the Cameron Simon pick right. Both of those guys look good. Dricus du Plessis was able to finish Derek Brunson in the second round. Really good win for Dricus du Plessis, but man, middleweights just look like shit. And Dricus du Plessis is just a young Derek Brunson, and that's that, man. Probably worse than a young Derek Brunson, which really goes to show like how bad the middleweight division is that you can't even get guys that are better than a 2015, 2017 version of Derek Brunson, which is pathetic, especially in this year. But Dricus du Plessis, who does he fight next? Maybe Whitaker, maybe Strickland. That would be a really good fight, and I'd pick Strickland to win that one every time because I just think there's a bit of a skill gap between Dricus and the guys in the top 5. I think Jared Cannonier beats him. I think that Strickland would beat him. Good luck taking any of those guys down. You'd have to stand with him on the feet, and Dricus is just too wild and too awkward on the feet. Kind of not even that fast. He's not even that fast. He just hits hard. Yeah. Anyway, what did you guys think of this card? Were you happy with the main event? Were you upset with the main event like I was? Did you think it was anticlimactic? Were you bummed out? Listen, Jon Jones is back. At least we'll get to see some more fights out of him. No more bullshit. No more Francis Ngannou giving the UFC problems. I'm happy that he's in the sport. I'm happy that he is back, and there is a silver lining. He's the heavyweight champion. It makes things interesting when he's in the sport. Things are good. I just also think that Gane, if he were to have won, would have really blown things up to another magnitude as well. But please leave a like. Please leave a comment. Next time, I'll make a better pick on a main event. So until next time.